This is a special tribute to my father-in-law, who recently passed. I see his life as a reflection of why I do these podcasts. I encourage everyone to listen to a speech given by a person who knew and loved him.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mindy, and it's been the pleasure for over half of my life to be one of Bunny and George's adopted children. This is my tribute to George. When I first met George in 1981, I had already lost my own father, sadly much too soon from cardiovascular disease. I was fresh out of college, looking to begin my career as a veterinary technician. After a couple of interviews that didn't go so well, I was lucky to land a job at the Liverpool Village Animal Hospital. Little did I know that this decision was to completely change the trajectory of my life. Not long into my employment with the Shurtleffs, I also lost my mother and officially became an orphan. I was devastated. Thankfully, Bunny swooped right in and welcomed me with open arms into the extended Shurtleff family. My time working for Bunny and George was filled with much joy and fulfillment, both personally and professionally. Without a doubt, George was the hardest working person I have ever known. I was proud to model my own work ethic after his. No matter how full his appointment schedule was, or how many surgeries were crammed into his day, the man worked like a trooper and never lost his cool. I admired his willingness to hire female veterinarians, which was a rarity in the 1980s, as well as his passion for knowledge within his field. George was an innovator as well. Taking a huge professional risk, he volunteered his practice to be one of the first 5 in central New York to work with a young programming company to computerize all of the practice's records. It was quite a daunting task, but George understood that computers were the future. Together with our close-knit staff, Dr. Lynn, Natalie, Teresa, Donna, Jadelle, Brenda, and many others, the Liverpool Village Animal Hospital became the standard for veterinary care in the area. During my time at the animal hospital, I also had the pleasure of meeting George's children, Shelley and Scott. They became my adoptive siblings as well. Over the years, our bonds have strengthened. I was the maid of honor at Shelley and Paul's wedding and the godmother to her daughter, Christina. With Scott, I was able to fulfill a childhood dream, as I was an acolyte at his and John's wedding. After a decade of service at the animal hospital, I felt the need to move my career in a different direction. While saddened by this announcement, I received nothing but encouragement and support from my Shurtleff family. They gave me the motivation I needed to strike out into different employment endeavors. Over the years, I carefully tended to my Shurtleff ties. During the Kaiser Beach years, the Shurtleff family extended again with the arrival of Deb Pence and that raucous Voss family. When life sadly made them orphans as well, once again Bunny and George stepped in to fill the void as both loving parents to Cindy and Mike, Karen and Joe, and Deb and Mike, as well as the Voss kids, Lauren, Evan, and Connor. While I didn't get to see them much during their time in Florida, or where they moved to Memphis to become doting grandparents to Christina and Eric, I made it a point to be there as a member of the extended family for all of the kids' life milestones. When George and Bunny decided to return to New York, all of us adoptive kids were thrilled. We were getting our mom and dad Shurtleff back full time. We wasted no time in making the most of it, celebrating many joyous birthdays, holidays, and other milestones over the years. When Bunny had her health scare last year, George, Shelley, Scott, and all of the adopted kids sprang into action. helping her to not only recover, but to go on to celebrate her 92nd birthday. George's kidney cancer diagnosis threw us all for a loop. For me, it was the first time I saw my Superman become human. Yet true to form, George came through the surgery remarkably well, considering his age. The best Christmas present that year was having them both around to celebrate. This year started out promising. Both Bunny and George were doing well. Myself, I was also about to enter the next stage of my life, retirement. I was looking forward to spending much more time with my adoptive parents and helping them around the house. Sadly, that was not to be the case. The human form was not meant to last forever. Once again, chinks were appearing in George's armor. Little aches and pains became more of a concern, even for such a stoic man who never complained. Unfortunately, we kids became all too familiar with Auburn Memorial Hospital. While there were some small victories and improvements, in the end, it just became too much even for Superman to fight on. George passed away in the manner that suited him best, in his own home, surrounded by his family, gently guiding him on towards his next journey. From humble beginnings, George Shurtleff became a respected professional and a pillar of the veterinary community. He was a devoted partner to Bunny for over 7 decades, as well as a staunch supporter for not only Shelley and Scott, the grandkids, but also to all of us adoptive kids and grandkids. As for me, George's passing felt like a loss of my own dad all over again. George had been a part of my life for over 44 years, twice as long as I had known my own father. I will always remember his gentle way with animals, our football and science chats, and most of all, those awesome hugs. The world at large may not know who George Shurtleff was, and that is definitely their loss. I feel honored and proud to have known George and the privilege to have called him Dad. George Shurtleff was an exceptional human being, an example of how we should all strive to be.
Hello and welcome to EBC Home Hints, the podcast dedicated to making your home a safer place, one episode at a time. I'm your host, Paul Rochette, and today we're honoring Yesterday's Man. Yesterday's Man reflects a period in time for those who didn't rely on the internet to help them. My father-in-law was such a man. Besides being a veterinarian in upstate New York, he was very creative. Whatever he needed for his hospital, home, or even car, he designed and built everything. He seemed to not have any limits to what he could do. He had to remodel buildings, build homes for his family, plumb the house, perform wiring, everything. His surviving spouse was his strength and guidepost through their 70 years of marriage. This generation saved everything. A byproduct of the Great Depression, they repaired things, only purchased new things when life support could no longer be provided for that item. As we go through his barn, we find old non-functional toasters, purifiers, you name it. His belief was to strip parts off something to repair something else. Certainly a mindset that seems to be missing today. For all those homeowners who want to do their own repairs, be cautious. Yesterday's man had no choice. They learned the hard way and through trial and error. After going through homes from this great generation, the repairs and builds were something from a Frankenstein structure, with no blueprints or designs. The point was to get the job done, using scavenged parts when possible and combining products that should never be joined. A special note about the internet. I know no one has ever heard of this before. The internet is full of stories or videos that are reminiscent of Yesterday's Man. Some of these videos are from professionals speaking about their own profession. The rest might be considered what might have been produced by Yesterday's Man using unorthodox methods. Please be careful who you trust to help you with your projects. Thank you for tuning into EBC Home Hints. If you found today's episode helpful, please like and subscribe. If you want to stay updated with more tips and insights, I encourage you to visit our website at ebcinspections.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media like Apple Podcast, Spotify, Overcast, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Castro, Good Pods, Castbox, Podcast Addict, Facebook, Instagram, Player FM, and Amazon Music for the latest updates, resources, and community discussions. Join me online and be part of our growing community dedicated to informed and empowered homeownership. Thank you.